Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4, of Chemically Bonded? I believe it's 4. Anyway, recap. Last time, this beautiful specimen right here, Naomi, ran into us in the hallway and was like, hey, you should stop hanging around, Science Girl, Kimoko. Was that her name? Oh man, I already forgot. Sorry if I forgot. Anyway, I left us on a cliffhanger after we got to the science club, and basically it was like, hey, do we be insensitive and talk about Naomi because we're just kind of in the dark about their relationship and why Naomi wants us to stray away from her? And the other option was ask about science, which is her interest. But real quick before that, turn up the music volume. There is no music right now, but that's okay. All right. Anyway, I think we know my answer. Boom. To just ignore the topic, to ignore the fact that Kyoko is being treated this way is not something I'd allow myself to do. Despite having just met Kyoko, I'm allowed to have feelings of concern for her if Naomi is doing something to hurt her. Not addressing it wouldn't make me feel better about it. There's the music. It's all sad and stuff. There is something I want to talk about. Kyoko, oblivious to my tone of voice, looks at me cheerfully.
What is it? Are you going to tell me your favorite element?
What is my favorite element? Tungsten's pretty epic, but that's besides the point. No, it's not that. It's about Naomi Sato. Her face drops at the mention of the name. I don't want to get too into it, but it seems as if she has something against you. Kyoko remains frozen before me, her face now coated with a look of woe. It's not something I wanted to see, but to see a face like this caused by someone's hate would hit harder.
He's always been like that. I'd rather not go into it.
I'm sorry for asking. Taking my cue, I apologize for delving into the topic. I had realized that asking would have created a sense of awkwardness, but her response solidifies the situation entirely. It's apparent that Naomi is going out of her way to upset Kyoko. I'd hate to imagine what Kyoko is feeling. The thought itself makes me sick.
No, it's okay. After all, you're a science club member. You're allowed to ask questions.
I just pulled like a 3-inch piece of hair out of my mouth. I haven't had a haircut since Obama was president, and I don't know what just happened. Ugh. It's my hair, but still don't like it. I guess now's a good time to change the topic. There's another now. Oh my, get out of there. Hair doesn't go there. Unless it's Naomi's hair. I guess now's a good time to change the topic. Kyoko doesn't seem too happy talking about Naomi. It's understandable why.
Anyways, it's getting late. I'd rather not bore you. We can't do anything until tomorrow.
Kyoko upholds her sorrowful expression as she makes note of the amber sky visible through the windows. Whether that's due to having cut the club short or due to our conversation, it's unclear. It's okay. I'm looking forward to,
Determining the concentration of calcium carbonate in limestone?
That's what you were doing? A giggle, a cute and more than welcome one. It's a nice thing to end my first club meeting on, given the bleak aura we've just escaped from. Kyoko unsheaths her slender figure from her lab coat, resting it once again on the nearby chair. I feel as if she's the only one who actually comes here outside of class. She has free reign to use all the equipment without a care in the world. That is, besides Naomi. We both stroll out of the lab together. She walks swiftly to my side, now almost as happy as she was when we first arrived. Wait, aren't you going to put the equipment back?
Oh, that? They won't care if I leave it there for tomorrow.
I'll trust her on that. Transition. Greeted by the late afternoon skies above, just as yesterday, we now stand before the school gates, ready to depart. Spending time with her has certainly been fun. I'd really consider her a friend. Before you ask, I will come tomorrow.
How did you know?
Because, like me, she enjoys spending time with someone after school. It could have been anyone, but I'm happy I made the decision to join her. Because science is fun, right?
Right.
Dude, I feel like I turn down her volume every time, but I don't know, it hurts my ears, man. Dude, man, I shouldn't have to config this much. Kyoko leaves me with a friendly wave as we bid each other farewell, the two of us now setting off home in this warm spring evening. It's that friendly wave I want to be able to see more often, the emotion of happiness. I don't want Naomi to bother her. I don't want her to be unhappy, to feel that way anymore. We still don't know, if it's, her. She's always been like that, says Kyoko. We don't know what their relationship actually is. Maybe they're cousins. Who knows? And they fight at family gatherings. I don't know. Maybe they're friends secretly, but they can't let the school know. Who knows? The creaking sound of my bedroom door makes its way to my ears as I take a step inside my room. My feet tap against the hardwood floor as I make my way inside towards my chair. So, in other words, to make that sentence a little shorter, we walked inside our room. Besides my own movement and sounds, the house is silent, save for the sounds of traffic and the wider world outside my window. I think I was saying this last episode, or maybe it was an episode before this, or before that one, i.e. 2 episodes ago. I feel like some of these lines, some of these dialogue sentences, or I guess monologues maybe, inner thoughts, I don't know what you'd call them, but I feel like I've seen these before in the previous game. This one especially just kind of looks familiar. I don't know, maybe I'm just poopy. Finding myself alone at this time of day is still an odd experience, my parents having left to enjoy their once-in-a-blue-moon evening meal. At least now, with this piece, I don't find myself berated by them for not cleaning my room or doing schoolwork. Maybe I have it easy. I could be berated for not bringing girls home from school instead, but having to hear about cleaning is still as exasperating. I had a hard enough time yesterday on cleaning duty, which is why I'm grateful to Kyoko for deciding to help me out in the end. Even if I had to join the science club in the process, it's not as if I mind though. It's certain to say that I'm finding the club enjoyable, or, Dan rather, being around Kyoko herself is what's fun. I can't call science a selling point. Her quirky nature is almost captivating, given that she's never really opened herself up to me in class. It's funny to think that I once thought of her as a quiet, reserved girl. She seems to get excited about almost everything. Though, I know that there's more to her than meets the eye. Her reluctance to delve into the topic of Naomi is more than concerning. Even if she did tell me not to go into it, getting choked early today wasn't a pleasant experience. I actually very much enjoyed when Naomi just strangled us with our tie. That was quite the experience, I would say. I'm no masochist, but I'd guess there'd be plenty of guys wanting to be in my shoes. There you go. There you go. However, it's clear that something is going on between the two of them, and if what I've seen is to believe... However, it's clear that something is going on between the two of them, and if what I've seen is to believe... And if what I've seen is to be believed, then I can't help but think that there's a real possibility of Naomi bullying Kyoko. Wow, I don't know about that one. Standing around and letting that happen would just make me feel disgusted about myself. Dealing with Naomi further isn't in my interest either, given our less than stellar introduction, but if I don't confront her, who will? An ill-matched chuckle escapes my mouth as I dwell on my thoughts. I'm not Kyoko's knight in shining armor. That's how British people spell armor, and Under Armour. But then again, I'm no asshole either. By this point, I can consider her my friend, and letting this ordeal continue isn't what a friend would do. I'll just have to talk to Naomi, no matter how fond we are of each other. Stretching back in my chair, the phone on my desk vibrates as I peer towards it. Whoever it is, they've picked the perfect time to get in touch. Being at home alone sure is boring, but it's not like I'd be speaking to my parents much anyway. Picking up my phone, I tilt it towards me to read the notification lit across the screen. One new message from a familiar name at that. Kyoko? It's reasonable to think that she'd try texting me eventually. We did exchange numbers, so I shouldn't be that surprised. Still, I'm not sure what she'd want at this time of day, but there's no sense in not responding to her. Firming my grasp around it, I bring the phone closer towards my eyes to read the message on the screen. Gonna do a little sippy sip. As opposed to abbreviations or slang, Kyoko's message is typed neatly before me. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if it's just like my, practice how you play or whatever, but I don't like to use abbreviations and slang in my text. I like to keep it formal. I don't know. I just feel like if I have to write an email or something, I might forget how to write. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just how I am. Either way, let's go on. Oh yeah. If you can't read English like myself, Kyoko said, "Hey, you're coming to the club tomorrow, right?" Okay. She didn't seem like the type of person to send, "You're coming to the club tomorrow, right?" So it's not too surprising. What's even less surprising is the message itself. That is, her eagerness to check on whether I'd be attending the club or not. Despite being a member, I guess she still doesn't have the confidence to believe that someone has actually joined her club. That alongside the amount of time she presumably spent alone there. In terms of club activities, we didn't do much today. Besides, touching on a sensitive issue for her. Perhaps she's worried I might have found it boring. If so, I should probably respond. It's not as if I don't enjoy talking to her. Click on a message to choose a response. See, why can't I choose my own and just send ironic emojis and... What's your favorite emoji? Mine is probably... I like the angry red face, not the devil, but just the angry one. That, I don't know, it's just kind of a bit of a meme. How much do you want me to go again? Wow, there's a lot more choices in this game. We can tease her. Give her a little tease action. If I wasted the opportunity to have some fun with her, I'd kick myself. I may as well tease her a little. She is overly persistent about checking if I'm going or not. Maybe fooling around will get it through her head that I'm not going to drop out of the club so easily. She's intelligent after all. The message should be clear. That, and I want to see what her reaction would be. Deciding upon my message, my finger hits send, and thus my wait for Kyoko's response begins. The statement itself is vague enough not to imply I won't go. Kyoko did spend all that time as the only member of the club. Saying something overtly mean and passing it off as a joke wouldn't be a nice thing to do to her. I don't want to unintentionally make things worse for her, particularly with the issue surrounding Naomi. Hopefully she gets the joke, but she seems to have a very niche sense of humor. Nietzsche. However, soon enough, her response comes through to me. She responded more than the atomic mass of darmstadatium. I'm not even going to ask what darmstadatium is, or whether what she said makes any sense at all. She's pretty clever, but she seemed to have a hard time understanding that I have no idea what any of that stuff is. Maybe teasing her some more will get her to talk more sense, or maybe I'm just having fun. We'll see. Sending my brief message, her response this time is prompter than before. She sent a picture of a person whose eyes were surgically ripped out of their skull, and a popsicle is going stick first into their esophagus. I don't really know what to read from that, Kyoko, but okay. I guess a picture conveys more feelings than words. At least I think that's how the saying goes. All I hope is that Kyoko understands that I'm actually joking, but she's sharp enough to understand. Hopefully. Perhaps adding in a winky face might have ratified my point. Still, being able to freely speak to Kyoko like this after only a few days makes me happy. It only makes me wonder how long she had to deal with being alone in the club, putting up with Naomi. To be able to joke around with her, to be friends with her, I can't call that a bad thing. All I need to do now is get a better understanding of the situation. Talking to Naomi again is the only way to do that. Nice. Leaning back once again in my chair, I'm back at odds and finding something to keep me occupied. Whatever could us, a boy, raging with hormones do, alone, in our room? I could conform to cliches and resist doing my homework, but doing it now seems like the best thing to do. It's not as if I have anything else to do. Besides, thinking about Kyoko and Naomi, frankly, I don't think doing that is healthy. I'll just have to sort things out tomorrow. Transition. That's a good quote by me. Blub 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 blub. We'll go a couple more minutes, maybe, perhaps some. Yeah, we'll go. This is a weird place to stop, even though it is like, oh, it's the next day. We'll do it live. Rays of light from the afternoon sun seep through the windows across the room as the class lethargically relaxes, the school day approaching its end. All that's left is one final class, and I can't be the only one here counting down the seconds until it's over. Most will head home. However, in my case, I get to engross myself in the science club after school. It's something I can look forward to at least. Kyoko too is still more than thrilled about having me go. Despite asking yesterday, I wasn't surprised to find her more than keen to stop me before lunch to give a quick reminder. Maybe after today she'll ease up on it. We didn't actually do any real club activities. And I've only been there twice, counting our introduction. However, besides enjoying my time with Kyoko, I'm starting to feel as if I'm attending for another reason. Naomi Sato. No matter how much I might like her, or how well liked she is around the school, I still find it odd that anyone would have an issue with Kyoko. Being the school's idol just makes the scenario even more peculiar. Kyoko doesn't want me to get into it, but I can't find myself turning my back on her. It's strange.
Hey, Natsumi, what class is next?
Well, thank you, random girl. Let's check out Natsumi. He should be right there. You go. Natsumi, voice acted by Taylor Faye, is a laid-back classmate of yours. She usually has her hands full with Chitose, replying to her energy with quips of her own. Together they like to spend time doing what friends do, ... Okay, she sounds cute. Yeah.
We have chemistry, Chitose. How could you forget? You hate it, don't you?
Now let's check out Chitose. She's voice acted by Venus Waifuru Owu. Okay. An energetic classmate of yours. While she may have an attitude, she isn't a bad person at heart. A huge fan of pizza, she likes to spend time with Natsumi doing things friends do. ...
Don't remind me.
Dude, I like their voice acting, I ain't gonna lie. I also like that there's more than 2 characters. We already met like 5 or 6. Counting the teacher. Overhearing a conversation behind me, it seems as if I'm in for an interesting hour. Kyoko's probably ecstatic at the thought. That is, I think so. However, peering towards her tells me a different story. As she neatly packs away her bag to join the class in the trip to the lab, her expression remains pretty stoic, at least for someone as expressive as her. Thinking back, Kyoko did leave her experiment set up yesterday. I wonder if she'll have to set it up again, now that we'll be using the lab. I'll just have to ask her. I'd be pretty pissed if I'd set it up again because of a teacher dismantling it. My legs ache as I lift myself from my chair. I should probably make my way out too, now that everyone else is just about ready to leave. Walking out into the corridor, I'm welcomed by the sight of Kyoko apparently waiting for me to leave the class.
Come on, we're in the lab. We can't just stay behind once it's finished. Don't you want to do the experiment?
How are we supposed to do it if we have a class first? Won't the teacher just take down what you did yesterday?
It'll be fine. They let me do what I want for some reason.
Interesting. I guess it's because if they don't, they might think her performance on test will drop. She's probably the one putting this school on the academic map.
Now, let's go!
Kyoko turns and walks ahead, trailing behind the rest of the class, making their way to the science lab. Just like that, we're gonna end the episode there, because that seems like an alright place to end it. How are you guys liking this game so far? I think it's pretty epic. I ain't gonna lie. I do be vibing. So, that's the end. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so previously prior to me asking. If you have, that's pretty epic. As always, help me find a girlfriend. And bye-bye.